Hi, Training Tuesday time. I'm Suzanne Castle, creator and founder of the Sparkle Factor. Sparkle Factor headquarters, I'm affectionately known as the Chief Sparkler, which you can see right there on the screen. Cannot wait to dive in today in 10 minutes or less. We're going to hack what's going on up here to help us live from alignment out here and then there. So I'm glad that you're here. Hey, please let me know, speaking of that you're here, throw a comment on the screen, live or even hashtag replay down below. So glad you kept this content however you do. I love reading where you're tuning in from. This is part 2 of a Training Tuesday I started last Tuesday, devoted to helping you and others work efficiently from hacking happiness. Today is all about those around you. Last week we talked about you. Today is others, and the simple ways to keep the creative energy popping. You know, people used to believe that you didn't have to be happy at work to succeed, and you didn't need to like the people that you worked with or even share their values. Work is not personal, the thinking went. But you know what we're finding? That's totally not true. That's bunk thinking. All you have to do is a quick search, and you can find research with dozens of companies and hundreds of people, as well as the research from neuroscientists like Richard Davison or Rachman and scholars like Sean Achor. And increasingly, what we're finding is a simple fact that happy people are better workers. Notice I didn't say better to work with. They are better workers. So those that are engaged with their jobs and their colleagues, they just work harder and smarter and the more pleasant altogether. And yet, you know what? There's an alarming high number of people, we hear it on the news every day, who aren't engaged. But what happens when you have a workplace culture that has folks that aren't engaged in a purpose-driven, you could insert happy here, way? Well, imagine with me for a moment colleagues and team members who couldn't care less about what's happening around them. Are you thinking of somebody right now? Maybe you've got people around you that it's Wednesday hump day, but for them, every day is hump day. And they're just working to get to Friday, right? Cue lover boy. We're all just working for the weekend, right? And if we can believe research, almost 1/5 of employees say that they're actively disengaged at work. And not only that, these people, they sabotage projects, they backstab colleagues, they generally wreak havoc in the workplace because they are so unhappy. Disengaged, unhappy people, they're not fun to work with. We all know this. And they don't add much value. And the impact on the organizations in our economy is profoundly negative. And it's even worse, I think, when leaders are disengaged because they infect others with their attitude. I was speaking to a group of high-level leaders yesterday, and I said, you don't only lead yourself, you lead your company, and you have an entire ecosystem of leadership. So what's going on with you affects everything. So you can see emotions and mindset and how it impacts each other's moods, performance, tremendously so. So how we feel, we know, is inextricably linked to what and how we think. So, in other words, our thought influences emotion, and emotion influences thinking. Now, luckily, science is on our side. So, here's what we can do to help ourselves and colleagues and teams and others that we're around volunteer at work, whatever it means, feel happier at work. So, last week, I talked about how to get yourself focused in a positive way. And today, it's all about your team, your colleagues, those you serve. So, I want you to lean in for these quick 5 tips. The first one that I have for you is actually you want to regard others with compassion, right? Regard others with compassion. So, what does this mean? Well, honestly, this is all about what you think that it means. What does compassion mean for you, right? The people that you find difficult may need kindness, they may need affection. Imagine yourself in the other person's position during a conflict to understand where they're coming from. It's much easier to have cordial relations with your coworkers if you decide, I'm going to find something to like here. So think about your feelings for your family, for your friends. Try to extend those positive emotions to everyone that you interact with. If you're a parent, think about your kid. You had a rough morning with them, right? You're carrying that into work. And then how you look at a colleague who just interrupts you for something, you may lash out at that person. It has nothing to do with them, right? The same thing's happening in the interactions to you, right? So we want to find something of value, something that's a nugget worthy, something that we can hold on to in those moments so we can focus that quality when we engage them and bring up the level of positive energy in the room. Another quick tip I have for you is to be generous with praise. Observe good qualities, right? Skills that your colleagues possess. If I said yesterday in a training, if you know that they like butterscotch discs, those little candies, right? And they've done something that maybe went unnoticed, and you notice, you drop a bag on their desk with just a note saying, "I'm noticing you're doing amazing." Little things like that will go a long way. The praise doesn't always have to be "you're doing a great job." You need to find all kinds of ways to be creative in your praise-ness of people. So let them know that you appreciate their strengths and their contributions. And you know what happens? That energy will go out to other members of the team. Immediately, they will feel more valued. And when people feel more valued, they are more engaged. All right. The next tip I have for you is to help out. So help out. So many times we are like, well, that's not my thing. I don't need to pick that up. And if you've got some good boundaries and you're in a big thing, I understand that. But sometimes you need to pitch in when your coworkers or a team member asks for help. So we want to be paying attention. We want to be noticing when someone has extra work so that we can volunteer without even being asked. Now, that's the key here, right? Sometimes you need to not wait for that person to be in a desperate place to ask for help. I think there's a struggle among a lot of people to say, I need help. But when you're noticing someone struggling, that's the time to just jump in and go, hey, so I've got a little bit of extra time. What could I do for 10 minutes to take something off your plate today? That will help so much in so many areas. That helps at your home. That helps with volunteers that you serve with, organizations, and that helps at work. So help out without even being asked. And then I really want to talk to you about bringing food. This may be counterintuitive. Like I talk about strategy and now I'm talking about bringing food. Well, that's the thing. Food instantly enhances your popularity and cheers people up. It changes the environment immediately. So bring in a bag of XYZ, figure it out. Is your whole team on keto? Then find keto-friendly chips. Is your whole team into carbs? Bring a bag of bagels. Donate a tin of cocoa or a specialty to the office kitchen. Get Fairy Tale brownies. I love using them as a company, Fairy Tale brownies, to deliver something in your midst. So you see the way that you think about your work and how you want to serve the people who are doing the work. So bringing in healthy snacks, bringing in something. I talked a minute ago about praise through, candy bars or something. You want to find a way to lift spirits because it will not only make you a better leader and coworker, it brings up the vibe, brings up the energy. And like I noted at the beginning of this video, the neuroscience tells us that people are more and more disengaged. So we want to keep them in a place that says, this is a place that values me. Therefore, I'm happy to be here. So I want you to use these tips to make it a better time for yourself and the people that you work with. Now, I know we all need to take a step back at times. We need to bring balance and joy back into our lives, back into our workplaces. So what do you think you can do about that? Thank you. Thanks, Laura. Yeah, some of this is some good truth telling. It doesn't matter if you're a nonprofit or for-profit leader. If you're working with any kind of team, and that could be in a volunteer capacity, these tips will really help. Good coffee racks. I have to agree. So I want you to be thinking today, like, what is something that I could do? What's an easy hack I can do to bring some joy in the place? Now, here's the thing. I am doing a little free event and I would love to have you come. Free. Yes, free. It's a free masterclass that will provide some powerful hacks that you can make right now, not only for yourself, but for others, to bring balance and joy back to this frantic mess that we find ourselves in. Right? And in this masterclass, it's about an hour. You're going to learn how to create more time and energy, how to reclaim your life, stay in control, how to help others do that as well, so that you can bring a sense of peace and satisfaction, not only into your life, but to your work, how you can feel more contented and feel more connected to your purpose and help others do the same. So I don't want you to miss this opportunity to join with me in this free event. So I'm dropping in the comments right now where you can sign up because it's just for free. But I want you to sign up because there's some bonuses for those of you that are on live. But as you know, I always record my things. So if you signed up, you'll also get the replay. It's going to be next week. So stay tuned for that on March the 23rd at 3 p.m. That's Central Time. Again, it'll be recorded, but if you're there live, you're going to get some extra bonus goodies. So I would invite you to join me for this free masterclass, get some powerful hacks to make right now to get that balance, to get that joyful culture rocking and rolling, not only for yourself, but for others. So be sure and save your RSVP. Okay, you know what to do. Raise up the energy vibe in the place where you are serving today in one way, shape, capacity for yourself and for others. I am Suzanne Castle. This is the Sparkle Factor in Training Tuesday. I'm so glad you were here. Have a rockin' Tuesday. I'll see you next week.